Arthritis can easily affect all aspects of a person's life, such as difficulty performing a series of tasks at work because it becomes very difficult even to climb stairs. Chronic joint pain can be difficult to deal with, especially if you look for non-pharmacological methods. The important thing is to exercise enough, while a sedentary lifestyle will worsen the situation. The good news about arthritis is that you can reduce many of the symptoms by small changes in your eating habits. The bad news is that you may have to give up some of your favorite foods, but know that changes in diet along with physiotherapy and medications prescribed by a doctor make it possible to live a completely pain-free life. Before we continue with the list, make sure to subscribe to Healthy Lab and turn on the notification bell to help us grow. Every subscriber is much appreciated. So, let's start. 10. Sugar and sweets. It is a fact that our body tends to consume sugar. It is also an essential part of our daily needs. But it is said that modern diets contain large amounts of it that can harm our health. Sugar not only causes inflammation in the body due to interactions with fat and protein, but it can also cause the production of advanced glycation end products, which is one of the consequences of premature aging. The best way to get the sugar needed by the body is to consume fruit, because these foods contain natural sugars, along with nutrients, antioxidants, and fiber. You can also intake a limited amount of natural honey. But you should stay away from products made with refined white sugar or high fructose corn syrup at all costs. In many cases, sugar is seen in the labeling of food items in the form of corn syrup, fructose, sucrose, or maltose on the list of ingredients, which you should also be aware of. 9. Gluten. People with autoimmune diseases, like rheumatoid arthritis, are more likely to produce anti-gluten antibodies. These are antibodies similar to those seen in celiac disease, which is why celiac patients must strictly avoid gluten. It is related to increased intestinal permeability or leaky gut. Some studies have found a lot of benefits to a gluten-free diet. People who produce anti-gluten antibodies appear to benefit directly from a gluten-free diet. For others, reducing the intake of low-value foods that often contain gluten can indirectly benefit. 8. Oil. High consumption of oil, especially saturated oil, is completely related to heart disease, obesity, some cancers, and perhaps the body's inflammatory response. Although more problematic in rheumatoid arthritis than in osteoarthritis. Limiting dietary fat to less than 30% of total calories, with no more than 10% saturated fat, which is harmful to joints. And such a diet prevents obesity and arthritis. Arthritis occurs in particular joints, especially the knees and thighs. In the elderly, both men and women, a low-fat diet will reduce pain if there is such a complication. 7. Foods containing omega-6. Although omega-6 fatty acids are beneficial in small amounts, today, most of the food products available in stores contain large amounts of them, which is not good, because it is known that high amounts of omega-6 cause inflammation and, as a result, joint pains. A proper balance between omega-6 fatty acids and omega-3 fatty acids should be established to deal with the stated negative effects and anti-inflammatory properties. Since too much omega-6 can cause joint pain, it's best to avoid most red meats and oils made from corn, peanuts, soybeans, sunflower, and safflower, because they have high doses of omega-6. Also, when buying from supermarkets, carefully read the labels of foods containing these types of oils, such as mayonnaise and salad dressing. 6. Dairy products. You must have heard that drinking milk is good for bones, and this is because of the protein and calcium in it, which bones need. On the other hand, dairy products contain certain proteins that can irritate the tissue around the joints in some people. Although milk is very nutritious, what seems strange is that its digestion is difficult with age compared to childhood. You can get non-inflammatory proteins from other foods, such as spinach, quinoa, nut butter, tofu, lentils, and beans. 5. Artificial sweeteners. Since we already asked you to cut out the sugar, this one might be a little tricky to appear. Aspartame is well known for causing health problems and is said to lead to arthritis even in people who have never had it before. Artificial sweeteners are manufactured in laboratories, which means there is nothing natural or nutritious about them. Your body may not even recognize them as food, and this causes it to become defensive against it and causes painful inflammation. Artificial sweeteners such as aspartame and sucralose are often found in diet sodas, sugar-free gums and candies, and diet puddings. The best alternative to sugar is stevia, which is a plant-based sweetener. 4. Salt. Consuming too much salt, or sodium, can lead to many health issues caused by water retention and high blood pressure, including joint pain. Your body needs liquid to lubricate and soften the joints. When it has a good balance of fluids, there will be no problem, but too much of it can cause inflammation and arthritis. It will cause a lot of pain as a result. Since modern diets contain a lot of salt, avoiding junk food and fast food is important. If you have arthritis and are taking corticosteroids, your doctor has probably recommended you to reduce or completely eliminate salt intake, as this drug strangely causes salt retention in the body. 3. Refined carbohydrates. The result of refining whole grains is the loss of nutrients in them, and what remains lacks the healthy benefits of those grains. Now this question arises, what will you put into your body by consuming these white flours? White flour not only has a high glycemic index, which increases blood sugar, but also increases cytokines, which cause inflammation in the body. It is difficult to completely eliminate refined white flour from your diet, because this category of food is also widely used. But avoid them as much as you can and replace whole grains with foods that are usually made with unrefined wheat flour, such as bread, pasta, and desserts. 2. Monosodium glutamate. Because monosodium glutamate is a salt-based food additive, it can cause similar effects such as water retention and inflammation. This additive enters our body in various ways, such as consuming processed foods, salad dressings, processed meats like sausages, canned soups, and many other ready-to-eat and semi-ready foods. It is inevitable to consume some of it these days. Unfortunately, your joints will pay for it. For this purpose, you can use some natural foods to relieve arthritis, such as fresh or powdered ginger. Processed foods are also in this category. So, you should avoid processed foods such as industrial baked goods, packaged meals, and fast foods. 1. Alcohol. It is obvious to anyone that alcohol has countless harms, and one of them is for people with joint-related problems. Alcohol consumption can lead to gout, which is very painful and restricts movement. Alcohol is also a diuretic that dehydrates the body and thus leads to inflammation. In addition, if a person is taking medication for these problems, he should know that the simultaneous use of certain medications with alcohol may have irreversible side effects. Excess drinking of alcohol can harm your body in many other ways. The risk of other diseases increases with higher alcohol consumption. Conditions related to drinking more than moderate amounts of alcohol are cancers of the breast, colon, esophagus, mouth, and throat. Arthritis means enlargement and an increase in the volume where the joint is located. The most common cause of this increase in volume is an increase in the amount of joint fluid. Joint pain is usually associated with inflammation. Gout, arthritis, bone injury, bone fracture or displacement, lupus, and fibromyalgia are factors that cause joint pain, and if you are one of the people who suffer from joint pain, try to avoid certain foods that cause inflammation. It is true that there is no special food to prevent and treat joint swelling, but observing some points and being careful in nutrition can be very beneficial. Thank you for watching, and we are looking forward to seeing you in the next video.